Hey there, Mr. Leary again. Today we're going to be talking about the decline and fall of Rome, and we're going to get through it much quicker than it took us to build Rome up into empire status. That doesn't mean that Rome actually fell very quickly from its position of power. It's going to take some time to destroy what had taken years and centuries to actually build up. We're going to start with an economy. The economy becomes weaker and weaker as you progress here from its empire status, as it began to show signs of weakening, with inflation going up, taxes going up. That's never a good combination, and people just general sense of discontent or unhappy. People often want some changes when that occurs. There will be some attempts at reform. Diocletian and Constantine. Diocletian 284 to 305 AD. Got a military background, it says on the notes here. They're going to try to do some reforming, but you almost got to weigh in that maybe it's a little bit too little too late. This thing had gotten so big. They even tried to move the empire, divide the empire up into two halves, an east and a west. That's only going to be minimally effective at solving this crisis here. Multiple categories, multiple reasons to tell the story. Let's talk first about leadership. It became a burden to be within the political authority of the Roman Empire. People who were the best leaders wanted to do other things. It wasn't advantageous for you to be in that government position any longer. Okay, couple that up with some other factors. Low confidence. People stopped having confidence that the Roman government could solve their problems. So they're going to stop looking to the government for those problem solutions. Population's down, food shortages. There's even some suggestions of lead poisoning. Obviously, the Romans advanced in infrastructure of moving water through aqueducts. However, the materials they were using perhaps not so adequate in maintaining some sanity amongst the population. If you know anything about lead poisoning, you might want to look that up and know that some people perhaps were suffering from that. So decision making may be questionable. Again, revenue's down, taxes are up. People aren't going to like that. That's not a good combination for success at all. There's a continued wide gap between the rich and the poor. So again, the discontent is growing. Then let's look at the military, ineffective military. With more and more northern threats, your note says, and more hits on the budget for defense, the military is not going to be able to keep that northern frontier protected. And there's a decline in patriotism. People aren't going to be fighting for Rome anymore. They're fighting for the general. And then, if they don't feel like what they're getting out of those fights are adequate, then it's not going to work. All right. So finally, the invasions start. There's a lot of threats along the frontier by the quote-unquote the barbarians. Remember who those are. Anybody who's not as good as us, according to the Romans. And then finally, Rome is sacked in 476 AD. Groups like the Vandals and the Visigoths, and the last Roman emperor is removed from the throne. So there it is. Rome finally falls. But in the east, the beat goes on, and that part of the empire will survive under some different leadership for about the next 1,000 years. And we'll be talking about those later. Thanks.